Okay. Water beginner girl. Water beginner girl. Water. What the freak? No. What the freak? No. What the freak? Oh. Okay, there we go. My bad. Alright. Wait, actually. Just real quick. Okay. Let's start it up again. Let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked...
Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, what we're gonna do. Four B3. See, I still can't. I don't know. Supposedly, this guy's supposed to give us hints. Don't see him there. Alright. Let's go ahead and take the bucket.
A strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
And then we're gonna... That's what I thought. We can't turn on cheats.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Okay, here we go.
Whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger. Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
Its brow.
Said the bucket.
Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's
Why is there
restart the
blood?
game,
It's a
and we'll
bucket.
agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Well, okay. That's an ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There we go.
The embrace
I want to
of
hopefully
old
get the
friend,
heaven ending
a
today.
weathered companionship that stands
But
the
we'll
test of
see.
time.
Okay, let's... Game ending?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back
Actually,
to the meeting
no.
room.
No,
So we did like
Said the
the...
bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking
No
to
buckets
him.
allowed
It should have
in there.
alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced
Oh, right, I forgot
that the
about
bucket
that.
had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly
It's
did
fine.
whatever the bucket asked.
I don't really see a way I could get over there, though. I don't know. We'll see.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Whoa! Hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood,
I think I've seen this on YouTube
50
before.
to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, I'm Dunny with the funny.
I'm dunny with the funny. I'm dunny with...
Good.
Oh.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times,
What?
just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles.
I'm actually thinking
All
about
of us
it, though.
must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them.
The idea of...
Speed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video
Whatever.
is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no.
The idea that you
I
reprint
think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So, with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Let me see. Cause the... No, we can talk about that. So, like, the idea that you reprint the same question multiple times to see if the, like, test taker isn't just, like, putting things at random is actually a good idea, I think. Like, they're not just putting in questions at random and hoping to get, like, a decent score. Because then, I don't know, that seems like a decent strategy for actual testing, you know?
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept.
Uh-oh. Game?
The king of
Okay,
comedy.
there you go.
That's what you'll call... Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Why do I have to go all the way back to the two doors? That's my question.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was
That's weird.
supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of
Oh, right.
remarkable
The
comedic wit,
deterioration.
which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake.
Does
I
it?
made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When
I
Stanley
think-
and the bucket came to a set of two open
I think I
doors,
have to go to the
they entered
left.
the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay, yeah, I have to go to the left.
Here we go.
I
You
get
ready?
it now.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most
Alright, yeah.
possessions pale
That's-
in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try
That's
that
the
again,
not
Stanley.
Stanley ending with the buckets.
I heard that you are pale with shame
Interesting.
over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the pale with shame? Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what...
More.
Make me the king of comedy again. More instructional...
More.
Let's see.
There it is. Okay, there's only a few endings left.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a
There it
better
is.
co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Still no hint, whatever.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last
He
one,
keeps
and then
changing the name.
first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figure and Lorraines. What? Figure and Lorraines? What the? This is a new ending. What the freak is this?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The
Hold on a
sheer
minute.
Euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
These background sounds.
It's my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Okay, yeah, so that's a new ending, definitely.
All of his
The
co-workers
whole
were gone.
thing.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Before
room.
the
Perhaps he had
bucket and
simply
stuff.
missed a memo.
When I just started the new content area, whatever.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
There was a moment in the, what was it? Okay, one moment. I'll be right back. Sorry, I forgot some. Anyway. So, during the part with the skip button, that was it. We skipped through time a whole bunch. We heard the beeping of the, what's it called? Fire alarm, okay? Then we skipped the button for a few more times, and we heard like jungle noises. There was plants, you know. Then we skipped it a few more times. It got really dark, and we started hearing these otherworldly noises. And then we did it again, even scarier otherworldly noises. So I think that was the exact same order that the cassette tape did. So like, the bucket was behind the skip button or something? There's something trying to get the bucket? I don't know.
Stanley took the bucket with him into this little hallway and closed the doors. This was their hideout. No one would ever find them here. Of course, no one would ever find them anyway because everyone was missing. But Stanley chose to ignore this fact and instead focus on how cool the hideout was. Just him and the bucket, two renegade heroes against the world, inside their secret, undetectable hideout here, next to room 417. What a treat. Ah, no, apparently not.
Okay,
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
I might have to
the door on
go
his
watch
left.
that one again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
We're gonna see that again. I want to see if I can hear the fire alarm this time. I also want to go in there without the bucket because, you know, this is new. I wonder what it's gonna be like without the bucket.
Okay.
Anyway,
This is day number.
we gotta listen to the background.
295. Tape number. I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
Jungle noises.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation
Otherworldly
for
noises.
it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour
Scare
with
your
the
other
bucket.
noises.
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there? Camporata.
Okay, we're gonna do it one more time without the bucket. And then I want to see if anything's different. If there's not, then I have something I want to do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Okay, yeah, it was different. Interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Okay, I want to try something
the bucket
real
tightly
quick.
to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I doubt it'll work. I thought it was that one.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I wonder what it'd be like in here with the bucket. Did I already do this? I think I already did. Yeah, nothing new.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Okay, sorry about this. I need to be right... Oh my gosh. The frick is my mouse? Here it is. I'll be right back. Okay. We're back. Okay.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop.
buckets.
Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't.
I really don't think so.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh boy.
Now then, I'm going to run you through
Is
some test
this
scenarios,
a bucket?
and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay,
Okay.
let's begin.
Should be easy.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket,
What?
not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation
Oh my
bucket,
gosh.
not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
I have a.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest,
Okay.
I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Incredible. Another
Is this a
one?
bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? It's a tractor.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? How is it both?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I
a bucket.
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Well, it's a good thing I did this one last.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything is
Everything
buckets.
disappeared. Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a
Yep,
bucket
I'm
either.
not a bucket.
Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right.
Everything is buckets. That is incredible. Okay, wait. Still minorly confused.
Stanley's bucket. The only... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I think it's over here. I think it's the boss's computer that I need to do next.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So... I can't fully remember. Is there any other endings that I haven't done other than the heaven ending, obviously, because I'm doing that one right now. But is there any other endings? Endings, endings, freedom, countdown, museum, escape out, heaven, closet, bottom of the mind control. What? Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay, I remember that one now. Okay. Okay, let's try this elevator and what the freak, no. That's weird. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew...
Apparently there was a few endings that I didn't even know existed.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Beep, 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 beep,
The elevator
beep,
raced
beep,
downward,
beep.
plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Oh
It
no.
would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if
in
not
that
for
door.
the bucket.
That's what I want to know.
Soothing
that
him,
door. I don't know.
comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest
So many
moment of
doors.
uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Okay, I guess I'll press the button 3 again. Yeah, I never knew you could go back on the elevator. I may
Here
not
we
be
are,
the
said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
so sad. Time to go back.
Perhaps
And then-
the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
How did I never know about this ending? It annoys me.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Because it's just a bucket. It's all it is. It's just a bucket.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence.
It's just a
Crushed by
bucket.
a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
The solution is to keep trying. I will never stop until the bucket understands.
Ah, said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there
What was that?
he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months,
then.
he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
World peace, baby. Oh, why was there a Minecraft opening door sound? That was weird. World's first sentient machine. I guess that was it.
This was it. One last chance to win the
4, 2,
bucket
7,
over.
3, 3, 3.
One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
What's the eye wallpaper? It's a little unsettling.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent.
I heard
So
the
it
other
began
rolling
that
noises.
Slowly, over many years,
What was that?
the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Bye-bye. What?
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, no, surely not.
Okay, so it is... That ending was just only Ultra Deluxe. Okay. Thank goodness.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley
There's a
had
few
felt the
endings
bucket
over
calling
here.
to him,
I'm check.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. A cargo lift, yes.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms.
Wow.
How deeply touching.
No. Oh, papers.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
This part is a bit of a conundrum.
Already this was uncomfortable. And Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it. As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good,
said the bucket. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
That's not what I wanted. It's fine.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah, there's never the
What could it
end.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Yeah, I think...
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
no,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Maybe in Minecraft you can. I'm not sure about real life.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
I don't think I would have even died during that one. I don't lie. Is there any way I can keep this door open? That's all I need.
But Stanley's...
No.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
Okay.
to...
We're gonna get it. We're gonna keep going until we get the hallway. I think there might be a chance if we can get the hallway. I don't know. Also, is the whiteboard ending a thing? Because, like, there's a small chance every time you begin the game again that you'll get the whiteboard ending. But I haven't seen that yet. Which is strange. I mean, supposedly it's pretty rare, but like at the same time, I've gotten it lots in the original. Haven't gotten a single time. I still haven't. Why? Just give me the hallway, please. Okay, here it is. Here's the web. What? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, you can turn on dog mode with that.
Now this, Stanley thought to himself, this is a bucket. And indeed it was. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Okay. There might be the small chance that that one actually works as well. But I didn't realize it at the time, so it's fine. So let me test on this normal one. How far before it closes? I think it's right past this file cabinet, no? Right.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant
right
memory.
on this box. That's
what did it
pretty
look like?
big.
There was a
That's
computer,
a pretty
perhaps,
big
and a paint.
distance. So I think if I just get one of the other ones, I should be able to grab the bucket and go back in.
All of finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, yes, yes.
That didn't work. Not in that one anyway. Because, like, the loading zone might be different in it. Although I don't know how far away I need to be. Or how close I need to be to pick up the bucket. I don't know. Okay.
One man, one bucket.
Okay, well, that makes it even harder. But it seems the whiteboard ending might be our only chance. Maybe. Nope.
One man.
To be that close. That's pretty close. Down. It's so good. Let's see. Let me check. Let me see that real quick. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, it is 1/2. Interesting. I don't know. This is a tough one. Let's see. Let me search again. Dang. Weird. So, yeah, I guess even if you get the bucket, it won't do anything. So, yeah. I gotta think of some other endings then. Okay, well, whatever. Access
A
heaven
soft
anytime.
wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
So, the only thing left to do now.
One man, one bucket, one child.
Actually, I'm not gonna take the bucket. So there's a few innings that I can only get. Actually, there's one inning.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Awesome. I guess I'm gonna get the cardboard box office next time. Pretty W. No. Still don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Whoops.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Really, I'm not.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting,
Stanley.
Someone
you forgot.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
All right.
Give me a chance. Now listen carefully.
There it is.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Amazing. Let's go ahead and get this ending real quick.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just
Not
stay
really.
right here, right in this moment with this place...
Seems like gradient
Stanley,
spam to me.
I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Now that's cool. Except they're not going up at the top, are they? Maybe they are? Can't tell. No, they're not. Are they? Eventually. Okay, yeah, there's just new stuff happening now. Dang. That's dumb. I hate this game. This game sucks. No. Oh, it's green. Okay, this is getting boring already.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving. Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
This is one of the sadder endings, I'm not gonna lie.
No. No, no, what do you do? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Pizza Tower? Hold up.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Amazing.
Is it over? It's going
Yep,
to restart,
I'm dead.
Isn't it? I'm going back.
The end is never the end. It's loading. Alright, time for some cardboard boxes. You ready? There's gonna be tons of them. Everywhere. No? That's weird. What the?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. I don't like this place. Last time we were here, it did not work out good. Can't go in there.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley. And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest.
I wonder if it actually does it in the actual order or whatever. That'd be cool. Hello,
in all sorts of
Emily Rios.
Unremarkable ways.
Okay.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Under the stairs.
No. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a Figanley, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments? Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room.
What?
But it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
That's weird.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Yo! Amazing! Look at this! Oh, no way! Amazing. Incredible. That was the best video I've ever seen.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
8 minutes. And last, not least.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all
was indeed all of them.
It was a moment unlike any other.
Funny, there's a
Except for the
bucket
other
here.
moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Okay. That was a much better...
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we
Yo!
can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay then.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
He's gone a little crazy with these figurines, I think.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
This is so fast. What is this?
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
I'm so confused.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Strange.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Going a little crazy on these memories now.
Oh, yes. The two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
What? What?
Yes. I'm remembering
what?
something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go.
Would he?
I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story.
so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
One more run. What should we do? Here's
Stanley
the
knew the office
boxes.
layout like the back of his hand. It was only a
My
matter of time
goodness.
before he found the others, wherever
There
they
are
were.
so many boxes.
Just a matter of time.
So many
It's
boxes.
bucket time.
So many.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stick. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I have a cruel idea.
Stepping in.
I don't know. So yeah, we cut off the narrator right when he was like thinking about ending Stanley. So I don't know if this changes anything. It probably doesn't, you know. Quite certain it doesn't. But we'll see. Last one. Oh, now I have to go through this again. This is so long. In all seriousness, though, like, why can... I'm pretty sure you both can fit. It's a bucket. Even if that was like a child or something. I think you could both fit. Like, oh my gosh. So goofy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I almost thought that door opened. I was like, what? Yeah, no bucket. What do I do? I guess I'll...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, doesn't work.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here. So he turned around and, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Yeah, it's not working. I don't know. I don't think so.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, so it's right there, yeah. Okay, well... yeah, I want to see what it's like without the bucket, so... we'll see.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I know, I'm amazing.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
'Cause I'm a genius, that's how. Okay, let's see.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
This is incredible.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
That actually scared me. What the
This
freak?
absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Please hold. It's a bird pendulum drinking coffee.
Okay,
It's
I'm
insane.
ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
How much time do you need? Cause I kind of wanna go down the elevator again. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
I know. I'm truly a master storyteller.
Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
This is so much better without the bucket. This is so much better.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we
It's
take
incredible.
this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting?
Oh,
you know,
boy.
Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big,
This is so
explosive
slow.
moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such
I agree.
unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you.
Thank
Which
you
is
so
why,
much.
Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Oh boy.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Amazing.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
What's with that ball over there? I want to get to that ball. That orb.
All right, are you
The
ready?
orb.
I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Wow, there's actually people here this time. Yay! I guess it was too much for me. Bucket did not react.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he wouldn't... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click
No.
a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the
it's
door
him.
20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
So yeah, I'm not too sure what I can do here anymore. It just feels slightly incomplete. I don't really know what to do. One moment.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
What did it
mean?
mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's see real quick. Okay, I think there's one more ending with the
It's
bucket I need to do.
time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So it seems you can actually beat the game quicker with the bucket. That's funny. Except you can't beat the game. That's, yeah. It doesn't let you. But whatever.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now,
So it can cushion my fall in this one, but not the other one.
Out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves.
How did they get these?
Kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Okay. Now let's see. No. I don't know.
This is the story.
What exactly is this criteria? We're gonna have to get the whiteboard ending again. Or something, I don't know.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Like, what endings have I missed? I don't know. Oh, okay. I gotta do a few more things then. Okay. So we're gonna quit the menu and we're going to quit the desktop. So now we're gonna boot the game back up. You'll see it in just a second. Here we go. And then we're gonna get another boot up sequence. We have to go through all the boot up sequences because the computer is barely visible. Number 5 becomes number 9. This is so funny. Occuboinkle or Scrumptish? I like Scrumptish. Yes. Yes. Obviously. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're gonna do that again. We're helping whoever this is. Not too sure who it is, but we're helping them. Maybe they're the anti-buckets, you know? I'm just joking. What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your stat specifications. But who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. Now the job's over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that I need to adjust. It may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again if you can find me. Talk soon. I'm not too sure where to find them. But I'll try. Either way, let's get this epilogue. Maybe that's where I find them. I don't know. So let's see. Many, many years later. Yo, back here. This was the coolest ending. Like, genuinely. We're gonna follow the sun. How did I get this wood? Where did I find it? Wait a minute. That's the escape pod. One moment. Jim. Thank goodness. Yo! It's them. Amazing. Awesome. You're the best disembodied text person. I'm ready. Are you ready? Please enter. Yo! Oh my goodness. Okay, we gotta find the... Actually, no. I don't need to find it. I know exactly where it is.
All
Okay,
of his
there's
co-workers were gone.
just
What
a
could it
few
mean?
things
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
you need to do
It's
now.
bucket time. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to
Just
be clear,
give me to the
I
expo.
haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Alright. So our disembodied friend has fixed the lever, supposedly.
Now,
in the
here's
machine.
something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait, what in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being...
Yes.
Oh, God. Composure. Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Dang. Well, whatever. So, how can I get the skip button ending again?
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
See, the epilogue thing wasn't here before. Oh, no, it was. Never mind. And we did get to experience it.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah. You wanna see the infinite hole since you missed it last time?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the
Here
end
we go.
of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Here we go. Falling.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nah.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley.
Question is, why is there
I'm
stuff
a liar
down
and
here?
a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Nah.
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Not mortal.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity.
Concavity. Alright.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth,
It's time for the greatest hole thing of all time.
Who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it
He's just
than
gonna
you could
leave me.
ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I
Goodbye.
hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Here it comes. Get ready. Change your perspective. Change your perception. Puppies. Space. This is the most incredible thing ever.
Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away.
So sad.
But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about
I
if
was
just pop in
experiencing
from
it.
time to time and wake you up to keep you really
You
truly
took me out of
focused on the
experiencing
hole.
it. You
From the looks of things,
jerk.
you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle Pip? Was that some sort of British thing? The Infinite Hole is incredible. It's the most profound thing ever.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay, Toodle Pip. Let's see if... I need to check something. Because this is... I don't know.
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done. You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu.
Okay,
There's
goodbye.
nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called Bumpscosity.
Viscosity.
What exactly is bumpscosity?
Yeah, is it there now? Can I change my bumpscosity? No, I can't change my bumpscosity.
Well,
So
I
sad.
haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the setting.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yes.
Ready to move on now?
Not too sure though. It's like, I don't know, I'm confused. Uh-oh. Did my game just die? Okay, there we go.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere.
Going to work,
Say,
work.
let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together.
We're gonna begin the game again. I don't want to do this ending quite yet.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Mean.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. It's
Perhaps
bucket
it
time.
simply missed a memo. Okay, let's see. Where's the expo hall? Why can't I go like over there? I want to go to the expo hall. I want skip button ending. Fine. Try this one more time. Dang.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Crazy. I've seen it 100 times.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think
Wait
of
a
all the new
minute.
territory we'll cover.
I have
with a
the bucket in my
fully fledged
hands.
sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Wait, there are 2 buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me? Stanley! Oh, thank God, I didn't lose you. Stanley, the power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them.
I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day you can forgive me.
I can't.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well
Yay.
Someday it is.
That's the one I wanted. Thank goodness.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an... All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
I don't know. I'm confused.
All of his co-workers
Oh, that's
were
nice,
gone.
though.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... It's bucket time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking this up. I can't freaking figure it out. Interesting. Anyway, how do I get the skip button ending it again? Huh. Okay. Okay. It's bugging me. I wanted to see it again.
Stanley clutched
It was
the
my
bucket
favorite
tightly
ending.
to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
New memory zone. Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been
Yay.
storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
What the way? I love what the way.
Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content. Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video
Blah
game
blah blah is the boring
memories.
part. And there's the serious room. You can't get there.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been
what
collecting
the
down
freak?
here.
I can't believe
Surely
it. It's
these reviews
Steam?
were glowing as well, weren't
I
they?
hate Steam so much, man. Steam is the worst.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me
I don't know,
if I'm
are you?
preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Good job, narrator.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people
We're gonna
want
listen
silence,
to
then
it
by
all the
goodness,
way.
that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably...
Yeah, he repeats that.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices
and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something along the lines of, "This game is the best game." Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as... Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking.
I think I
and
finished this
thinking,
one
and
last
I
time.
don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I could... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back! Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And
Hello.
in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this
W
world,
narrator.
and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can
No.
see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it. To think of returning to such coldness.
let us sit in silence.
I think
together here for just a moment.
technically I've played
Let us
this
welcome it.
specific,
Let us not run
like,
from it.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe for around 6.5 hours. Because I played it for 3.5 hours yesterday.
Hello, it's you. You're here again.
And then
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything.
I played it for
we've
3
been
hours
through.
today.
I've had so much
I've completed the
time.
game and
I
everything.
stopped
I just
keeping
wanted to
track
experience this
of
ending
it.
again because it was
Have you
my
ever
favorite,
sat
and then I'm
down
gonna
in one
end
place and not move
the
for
stream.
one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing
60
now,
divided
for
by
longer
2
than
is
I could
30.
have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
He's not here this time. Let's listen. Yeah. There's no sound over there. It's just
But
so
they didn't
cool.
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency.
12,000 divided by 2 is
It's
600.
the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart
Or
the words that
1,200
they are
divided by
speaking into the
2
world.
is 600.
As though there were no consequences for a lack of
1,200
cohesion in
divided.
one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands
demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this.
I think that'd
I'm at
be
peace with it.
70,000,
I am the calm
right?
center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time.
Maybe it's
They are mired in fear and insecurity.
700,000, I
To
think.
tear me down. What a sad state of affairs.
It's either 70,000 or
Read these
700,000.
reviews Now you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long,
Yeah,
neutered and
700,000.
sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel.
Dan
It must
Diaz.
be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't
I don't really know
help
how to
but
pronounce
leave
it
a
very well.
negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Just empty. No sounds. Nothing.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
And here's where the fun starts. Yeah, so it's like it's dripping over here. Some sort of damage has been done. And it's filling up with water right here. What kind of damage, who knows? But we'll find out now. That kind of damage. And it's just pitch black out there. Like, what the heck happened? I love this. I love this part. Nah, I don't want to sing a song. Now we can actually see the light out there. It's very, very bright. This next one is really cool. We have life, tons of it. Supposedly life once again. Like, imagine. Like, this is just me spitballing here, but like, imagine. A Stanley parable and a freaking Stray are connected. Like, like this is, I don't know. Like what would happen earlier was something to do with, you know, the outbreak or whatever. I don't know. And then now it's growing back like it does. I don't know. There's just a hunch. It obviously isn't, but like it's just a common. It's just a common thing. But it'd be cool, you know. This part is so terrifying. This is only the beginning. It's just pitch black. You can hear the wind. You can only imagine what's out there. You can only imagine. Like, what could be out there? Now it's much closer. Like there's something. I'm not sure. I don't know, I feel like the last one was just slightly more terrifying because you could hear the wind and stuff. Like there's still like a world out there. Now it just seems empty and you can only hear this strange creature. It's all ash. Still a bucket though. It's all good. There's the clock. There it is. Crushed by a rock. And then we finally get to see the outside world. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where am I from? Like, where do I live? Like my country? Hello.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I don't know. Well, if you have no more questions, I'm going to end the stream here because I've been streaming for a long time. Ugh. I might stream tomorrow. Obviously, a different game because I've completed this pretty much all the way through. Don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'm gonna figure it out when the time comes. If I do end up being able to stream tomorrow, like tomorrow and Thursday are the days I'm not too sure about. I should be able to on like Friday pretty easily. Thursday, I'm hoping I can. I'm planning on streaming Smash on Thursday since I have a tournament I'm going to on Thursday. I might stream some PA. I might stream some Rain World. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I still need to finish Prey as well. There's a few other games I have that I could also play. I don't know. We'll figure out when we get there. For now, I will see you later.